I gave her my heart, and she stole my daughter, the case I never wanted to remember. My name is Mary Grayson, and I'm a retired family court judge. For 26 years, I sat on the bench in the state of Virginia, listening to heartbreaking stories, broken marriages, desperate parents, and the cries of children lost in the system. But the one story that still haunts me, the one I've never told publicly, isn't from a courtroom. It happened inside my own home. Chapter 1: The Woman I Let In. After my husband died in 2013, the silence in our house became unbearable. My son Andrew was stationed with the Marines overseas. My daughter Susan was away at law school in Chicago. I was alone, a 58-year-old judge who spent her days upholding justice, and her nights crying into a pillow. Then came Jane McCauley. She first appeared in my courtroom as a victim of domestic violence. She wore oversized clothes, hid behind thick sunglasses, and flinched at every sound. She didn't speak during the hearing. But when I asked her directly if she had anything to add, she whispered, "I'm scared to go back home." That moment stayed with me. After the hearing, she approached me in the courthouse parking lot and said, "You're the first person who's ever listened to me." I should have reported the contact. Judges aren't allowed to have private conversations with case participants. But I didn't. I felt sorry for her. I let her stay at my house, just for a few weeks, until she found a place of her own. It was the worst mistake of my life. Chapter 2: A Heart Opens. Living with Jane was unexpectedly easy. She cooked, cleaned, listened to my old stories, laughed at my dry humor, and kept me company during the darkest winter of my life. Within 2 months, she was calling me Mom. I even encouraged her to explore foster care. In Virginia, and most U.S. states, any adult who passes a background check and home study can qualify to foster. Code of Virginia Section 63, 2-900. With my help, Jane connected with a local agency. That's how May came into our lives, a bright-eyed, curly-haired 3-year-old with a love for vanilla ice cream and bedtime stories. Within a year, I adopted May legally. She became my daughter. And Jane became family. Chapter 3: The First Cracks. The first warning signs came from May's preschool. She started crying when Jane came to pick her up. One of the teachers told me May whispered, "Mommy, Jane gets mean when you're not watching." I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. Then came the bruises. One on her wrist. Another on her back. I did what the law requires. Under CAPTA, professionals must report any suspicion of child abuse. I filed a report with Child Protective Services. Jane cried. She said May had fallen. She begged me to believe her. And I hesitated. My heart and my judgment were at war. I hired a private investigator. Chapter 4: The Disappearance. On Friday, March 17, 2017, Jane and May disappeared. All they left behind was a note. "I'm saving us. You're dangerous. We'll be fine." Jane took May across state lines. That made it a federal kidnapping case under 18 U.S. Code Section 1201. Even though Jane wasn't May's legal mother, she acted as a de facto guardian, and that complicated everything. She filed for emergency custody in North Carolina, using the UCCJEA, the law that determines jurisdiction in child custody cases across states. It was a strategic move. And it was working. Chapter 5: Courtroom War. 11 months later, I saw May again. She looked different. Quieter. Distant. She didn't remember my name. She called Jane Mommy. The first custody hearing was held in North Carolina. The judge ruled in favor of Jane, temporarily, claiming that disrupting the child's current environment might cause trauma. Jane's attorneys painted me as unstable, too emotionally involved. One of them looked me in the eye and said, "She wants to be a judge and a mother. And she's failing at both." I spent a year fighting for May in court. I won. But it didn't feel like a victory. Chapter 6, Redemption. May came home. But she cried every night. She was terrified of the dark. She asked me once, "What if Mommy Jane comes back?" That's when I stopped being a judge and started being a mom. I poured my life into healing hers. Therapy. Music. Stories. Paint. Little by little, she laughed again. Jane received a suspended sentence. She wasn't charged with physical harm, just unlawful custody interference. The court called it low risk. But I know what she really did. She broke a child's trust. She broke mine. Epilogue, what I learned. U.S. family law isn't just about statutes and courtrooms. It's about love, betrayal, power, and pain. It's about how far people will go to protect, or to possess, a child. I used to believe the courtroom was where justice lived. Now I know, sometimes, justice starts at home. May is 11 now. She wants to be a judge. And every night, I tell her, "You're already bringing justice into the world, just by surviving." Names and some details have been changed for privacy.